Sir Danaypag,
Whether you are a lawyer.
you are framing the conversation eh.
Oo.
I am framing the conversation my way.
Okay.
Kay akong gapamangkot, di mo?
Oo.
Di ba? That's why nga ginapurso kong point ni Mr. Makainan. Qualified sila o kung hindi, anong basihan mo sa qualification? Credentials is number 1. Hindi ko gusto magpinalagpat na counselor mo.
The following joined DNX in its second anniversary celebration. Negros Occidental Governor EUGENIO Jose LACSON, Negros Occidental Vice Governor Jeffrey Ferrer, Bacolod City Mayor Evilio Leonardia, Bacolod City Vice Mayor Elcid Familiaran, Bacolod Congressman Greg Gasataya, Mayor Raymond Dongson, and Grace Pharmacy.
You've tasted empanaditas and buns, but have you ever tasted papas con chorizo, curried chicken, pulled pork, double cheese, and tuna basil? Only Jinkies Kitchen offers these flavors. Catch a bite now of Jinkies Kitchen empanaditas and buns at Kmart, Monsterific at Singkang and Talisay City, San Carlos, Silay City, Lopez East Center, and Lopez San Sebastian. Jinkies Kitchen empanaditas and buns, a pocketful of goodness. Nature's Perfect Lunchbox. For perfect eggs, fresh and clean, guaranteed all the time. For orders, text or call 0907-838-7958.
Let's go straight to the question, gentlemen. Nagsaka naman close to 2 pesos ang charge sa CENECO. First of all, Mr. Ted, or shall we give first dibs to amo na ginatawag ng equity of the incumbent, Councilor Jun Gamboa? Sir, what can you say about this?
If CENECO board of directors could have been more truthful from the very start, because I remember nga you interviewed the President Junjit Yap and Father Larida here at DNX, and they were so happy and they were so proud to pronounce that they have decreased the power rate of CENECO by 1 peso. And I immediately debunked that claim. In fact, you interviewed me about that statement made by the 2 board of directors, because that increase basically, or that decrease basically was a miscalculation made by the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines in the computation of the rate. And surely, CENECO, the original actual rate will eventually be reapplied the following month. And true enough, our rate increased the following month by almost 1 peso. So they are not being truthful to us. And secondly, even in the power rate increase now, yes, that is correct. CENECO, there is a malfunction in the transmission line of the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. There is currently a maintenance done or work done by some conception, but then again they are not being truthful in telling us that the 24 and the 20 megawatt power supply extended contract with KEPCO Salcon in a higher amount or price of no less than 5 pesos has actually been computed. The price differential of 2 pesos has already been computed, leading to the increase of our power rate for the month of August.
Allow me to clarify, Councilor. But mo silingon, it's NGCP ang nagpasaka, and then you have that power supply contract.
Yes.
Sa KEPCO Salcon.
Yes.
But
Which was illegally extended. I have to be very, very clear on the people that it was an illegal extension made on these 2 power supply agreements that we had with KEPCO Salcon. in the amount of 24 megawatts, which was extended way back in 2019, and this currently extended illegal extension of 20 megawatts last May of 2021.
But ang ginasiling usually sa CENECO is pass on charge ni mo but silingon wala sila yakita diri if it is NGCP that is responsible for the increase nga hindi NGCP ang aton sukton.
Well, una best sa Abian Julius, no? Very clear kayo ang violation disang CENECO or ang Board of Directors naton. Merely by lying in front of the public regarding as to the extension of the contract which has already been ruled out by the Supreme Court na hindi pwede nga ang bag-o nga rate sang aton mga electricity cooperative hindi mag-agi sa CSP or competitive selection process. So, in other words, to make it simple para sa pumuluyo, makibot kita nga nagtaas ang aton nga bill. Nakibot kita bangod nga gin-sustain sang CENECO ang old nga price sa 5.42 plus nag-increase nga 0.95 centavos plus nag-additional nga 1.88 centavos per kilowatt. Meaning, kung nag-stick sila sa daan nga kontrata nga invalid na, ang aton nga kuryente subong nagadalagan almost 10 pesos. While ang Iloilo is 250. Pero kung gin-award nila ang 3.29, kung may additional man nga 95 centavos plus ang 1.88, ang pumuluyo hindi gid gyapon maapektuhan kay do ang gwa sang aton nga bill Abian Julius mahimo lang gyapon ma-fall sa 5.44 or 5.49 centavos, but not to the extent right now nga ang sumada plus ang aton nga mga additional charges sa CENECO naglabot na sa 13 pesos per kilowatt hour. So kung imulan tawon ang bill nga mabaton ta sa CENECO right now, ang aton nga bill dapat manubo siya kay bangod nga may awarded na dapat nga presyo sa 3.29 nga baseline. So sa mga pumuluyo nga naga-monitor sang sini nga programa, very simple lang gid ang explanation dira nga nagtaas. Nagtaas siya in the sense nga wala gin panubo sang CENECO based sa CSP kag third party bids and awards committee nga gin recognize to ang 3.29. So from 3.29, kung gin-add mo ang 0.95 centavos, masulusubra lang sa kita dapat 4 pesos. Plus ang 1.88, masulusubra lang ta sa 6 pesos. So subong ang aton nga bill, plus ang ilang mga other charges, nagalabot sa 13.77 something. So amo na siya, Abian Julius, ang current subong nga problema sang tao. Biskan wala sila nag-additional sang appliances, wala nila gin aircon ila balay, pero bangod nga ang kuryente based sa computations mo sa CENECO nagtaas. Ti amo na nga makibot ka nga from 250 nga ordinaryo nga driver ang iya nga bill naglabot na sa 1,100.
Allow me to pursue your point. Ang put mo silingon, nagdugang lang ang patong sang NGCP sa mataas na nga daan nga sukot.
Yes.
Sang Kepco Salcon, ang
Yes.
mabot mo silingon.
Yes.
Kag kumutaas ang sukot sang Kepco Salcon para sa imong balasulon ang taga CENECO.
Yes, because ang base sa aton nga hibaluan, tapos na ang kontrata sang 5.42 mo. So dapat 3 months prior nga ma-expire ina nga kontrata, it is already mutan academic Abian Julius nga mabiding sila, which they did. O galing, wala nila gin-recognize ang gin-endorse nga proseso sang ila man mismo nga gin-create amo ni ang third-party bids and awards committee. So therefore, they can held be liable sang nagakatabo subong bangod sang incompetence nga dapat as board of directors kaintindi sila sang ila function. They only need to say yes or say no. Kung no, dapat pangitaan nila sang rason sa likod sina nga hindi nila pag-i-accept ang nagdaog nga bidder. But this time wala wala magani sila kubra sang any resolution declaring it nga ang bidding sang third party bids and awards committee is failure. So hindi naton mahangpan nga ang agin prolong nila ni ang agony sang pumuluyo to the extent right now nga pandemic pata nga ang mga tao do sa ano bala nga ang imo nga bill way back last year hasta subong ga 250 300 ka lang makibot ka lang 1-1 ang imo nga bill.
You told me yesterday, Councilor, nga gina-question mo ang mga directors ng CENECO.
It is a common knowledge so on that the election of this board of directors, particularly here in the 5 districts of the city of Bacolod, is only, they have been elected because of the intervention of the powers that be at the new government center.
Danay, ang vote mo silingon, ang City Hall may labot sa ilabot
Oh, yes.
padalagan.
You
Sinong
know,
nagambal sina?
Everybody.
No, but-
The job order casuals are being required to vote for their preferred candidate, and money are being given out from the candidate to the candidates.
Hindi si Roy
from the
Cordoba
new
nagambal
government
na sa imo.
center. What?
Hindi si Roy Cordoba nagambal na.
No, it is a common knowledge that money are being given
Sir,
out.
allow me. I want to
Vote
believe.
buying is very rampant
I
during
want to
every
believe
time
your
there is
point,
an
but
election.
we have to be careful. This is an assertion.
Yes.
And can you offer proof about that?
Money, the fact so on nagalagaw, kag nagapanagtag, kwarta, ang mga kandidato just to get votes from the voting public in their own respective districts. The mere fact so on that the job order casuals are required to vote for their preferred candidate basically is already a manifestation that the powers that be at the new government center have a hand in the elections of this board of directors.
Do you have any written or testimony from any casual about that?
You know what's on? In every elections, name it. You can never get a testimony of anybody, but that is a common and accepted norms. Hindi ba? Vote buying is
Yes.
part of the election
That is
process
why,
here in the
ang
Philippines.
point ko, sir, is this. Allow me to pursue that point because
Yes.
my problem with the assertion nga everybody knows is the fact that everybody knows cannot be proven. Di ba?
Election is made with the approval from the local chief executive. Silay did not allow election.
Oh.
Talisay did not allow election. Same true with Murcia, Don Salvador. Only Bago and Bacolod. So, if the election has not been meddled by the local chief executive, hindi ni amo subong ang sitwasyon sang CENECO. So, if we are looking for a written affidavit, that is already a clear manifestation nga ang isa ka mayor sang isa ka lokal o municipal, kung hindi sa luyag magpa-eleksyon, pwede yan na balabagan. One reason there is bangod nga COVID period. Arito sa pandemic, bawal magkumpol-kumpol ang tao pakadto sa presinto. So why is it that Silay, Talisay, Murcia, Don Salvador were able to do that? And look at us right now. Ang CENECO lang tawa. Majority sang board is from Bacolod. Ang gwa sang Silay, Talisay, Murcia, Don Salvador, do mga second class sila yung mga tao. To the extent nga doon natunga-tungahan na lang ang bilog ng CENECO, nga sakop sa jurisdiction ng CENECO, from people of Bacolod, which is unfair. So now, kung imo lang taon, kung wala sang hand ang local chief executive, by all reasons dapat wala election. Why election? Why? Ang mga local chief executive sa mga banwa ni nga wala nag-allow mo pa election sa CENECO. Just what like we are now preempting, nga kung wala ni sang clearance subong, ang AGMA or ang Annual General Membership Assembly halin sa syudad sa Bacolod, hindi ni madayon. Bangod they have the full authority and control nga balabagan nga magtilipon-tipon ang tao. So, you could just sense the power and the authority by the local chief executive. sa sininga sitwasyon.
Allow me to pursue that point naman, no? That could be an indication of interest. Di ba? Interest sang mayor or sang syudad nga dayonon ang eleksyon.
Yes.
But does that necessarily prove wrongdoing?
Kung imo lang taon sa perspective nga amo sina Abian Julius. But for health reason, no? For health reason, nga nahimo sang iban nga mayor na. Nga hindi pagdayonon ang election because of fear nga maging reason sa pag-spike sang COVID.
But then, physical gini or online lang? Online or physical ang agma?
It's a physical.
Physical gid.
Yes. So tanan nga tawo mamarcha gid pakadto sa eskwelahan to vote,
So there's that risk hambal nimo.
di ba? So kung ikaw mayor, grabe nang imo nga prevention sang pagdipinsa mo sa tao hindi magka-COVID. Why will you allow an election? Anong problema mo sa mga board? Nga kinahanglan mo gid sila ilisan? For what reason kung wala ka interest? Di ba?
I'll go back to that later. Pero balikan ko ni si Councilor Joe. If you are a dummy, may ara ka sang puppet master mo.
Correct.
Sinong puppet master?
Well, either both. I think both. It is the powers that be at the new government center, and
When you say the powers that be, sino nang gina-refer
it
niyo?
it can go up to as high as the mayor itself.
The mayor?
The mayor
Uh-huh.
himself, or several other vested big interest groups.
Can you cite any proof or indication, sir?
If the
Na sila ang puppet masters?
proof, what do you mean by proof? It was really explained by my friend
No.
Teddy Makainan.
This is for you.
And what is that? The
Paano ka
dummy?
nakambal nga ang dami ginamanipular sa taga City Hall?
Because they are they are indebted.
Mhm.
They are indebted to the people who place them in their
Pila gingasto sa City Hall?
in their positions as
Sinong
directors
gingastuhan
of
sa City Hall,
the
Councilor?
CENECO board.
Sinong gingastuhan sa City Hall?
This board of directors. So
Can you
now
name them?
all of the five.
Sino ni sila?
Who are the five board of directors
No, it's
sitting
for
now
you
in
to
the
say
city?
that.
Namely, Georgette Yap,
Okay.
Velasco, Panique,
Sino nga lang ni
Larida,
Velasco gani?
and Cuenca.
Cuenca.
Yes.
Pila gingasto kada isa sa ila?
Well, it can vary. It can range from 1 million to 2 million depending on how much amount of money can each and every district
How are you
provide for the delivery of votes for their own personal candidates.
Sino naghatag sa kwarta sa ila, sir?
As I said, I have said that, I have time and again said that basically not only are the job order casuals are being required to vote for these candidates, but they are also given campaign money for the distribution for the voters. Of
As I
these,
have said,
board
sir,
of
what you are
directors.
saying right now is a serious accusation. That is why I'm asking you because kung magkinasuhay ni pati ako dalasa mo. That's why I'm giving you this opportunity to show proof sa imong nga
You know what?
accusations. Allow me, sir, let me
yes.
ask you this.
Yes.
Sino ang naghatag kwarta kay Nonoy Panique? Diin na rin ang kwarta, pila na ang kwarta.
We can have, you know what I said, ang inambal ko yaso naman there are several interest groups making sure that they have their people elected as board of directors of CENECO. Now, we need to understand.
Can you name them?
Need to understand. So let me explain first the dynamics.
Sure.
Why there is a need for them to put up their people as board of directors of CENECO. CENECO is a multi-million private industry. Wherein daily transactions there can range between 20 to 25 million a day. Daily transactions or monthly transactions of no less than 400 million pesos. These contracts alone, even the 20 megawatt contract alone is already by the billions of pesos. So in other words, one cannot simply deny the fact that several interest groups are actually are interested of having people there at CENECO to push their interest.
You are being very brave actually, Councilor, for saying this.
It is
You are being very brave.
being what?
Being brave.
Brave.
Oo. You are being brave in saying this. But as they say, sometimes kuno ang the devil is in the details. Now, I want to go to the details.
Okay.
This is your chance to show proof nga grabe ang gamitay sang kwarta. Kwarta ni Kasitiol, hindi.
You know what? When I said that there is CENECO alone is in itself a priced entity. Considering that the daily transactions with the people, that the amount of money that comes in and out of that private enterprise is so big and so vast enough for a lot of people to get interested, to have their people in the CENECO board.
I understand the concept,
You see?
sir. I understand the
yes.
concept. What I'm asking for are specifics. Kwarta Kasitiol ang gingasto, hindi.
I can only cite so on that there are several vested interests that are vying to have or to take control of CENECO.
That is a general concept.
Yes, that is a general concept.
What I'm looking for are specifics.
But I don't have the specifics.
Oh, there
But
you
that
go.
is a general common concept, acceptable and a common knowledge to each and every one of us.
Galing sir, ikaw, you are a law student and you understand nga ang question of evidence requires proof. Diba? Ang assertion requires proof. It requires evidence. So ano, kay kung tanikin kasuhan na ni sila.
Basically, they have already been, cases have already been filed.
And what I mean, ginkasuhan sila
administrative.
for vote buying and a lot of things.
You know what? Again, so on, you're going back already to the impossibility here that is common in any of the elections here in the country. Wala kasi, you know what? You're asking me for the impossibility because that is a common practice here in every elections. Di ba? Who among us, say for instance, saying cannot claim that there is vote buying in the elections here every time here in the country or in the Philippines.
But perception sometimes, sir, is not necessarily true.
But you did not have to prove so on the nitty-gritty of
But that
the
is not-
nitty-gritty of these actions, but the mere fact so on that certain vested interest groups are actually coming in, pushing their own agenda at the detriment of the general public is already enough proof for us to be alarmed and to be aware of the
What I'm trying to say,
of
Councilor, is this.
the happenings inside
You know
CENECO.
why I am concerned about this thing is because, one, for example, Subong, you are actually against extrajudicial killing. Diba? You are against that.
Yes, of course, by all means.
Ang problem with extrajudicial killing is perception can get you killed. Diba? You are perceived as a drug lord, as a drug protector, pwede ka patyon. And that is what I am against. I don't believe in perceptions per se. I want proof and I want evidence.
Even in your own personal stand. If you are an advocate of so and so, you can actually be killed for following your principles contrary to the standard of causes nga ginapagbato man sa aton nga mga gobyerno.
That
You
is
know
why
what?
I'm saying
so therefore these are all perceptions.
we should offer proof and we should offer evidence to every assertion that we do.
You know what? So on, sometimes you have to fight for causes greater than yourselves. So it is only between you and your God. You know what? There's sometimes masiling kitab lang ginapakibatuan tang bagay. I cannot say that you are correct and I am wrong. Or I am correct and you are wrong. No,
but
we
causes
cannot.
require
But
proof,
you are
sir.
fighting for causes basically which you truly believe to be greater than yourselves and you are willing to sacrifice your lives for fighting for that causes.
Kaya for example, if I say, ang akon kausa kontra ko kay John Gamboa, nga kontra ko kay John Gamboa, hindi sa nami, kawatan siya. Diba? I have to prove that.
These are all
I have to
perceptions.
prove, pero I have to prove that.
Yes.
Before I come out
But these
publicly.
are perceptions. Otherwise, we will be throwing
That
things
is why.
back and forth. But all we need to do actually, so on, we need to just simply have to respect each other's point of view and our position. Like in the case, for example, on the issue about this vaccination thing. Let us talk about who is right and who is being wrong. Now, when it comes to the medical issue, say for instance, each and every one of us, may ara kitaya prerogatives to weigh the benefits and the risks. Who am I to say that you are wrong in having yourself vaccinated and make it mandatory on our part, on the government to have yourself vaccinated? No. Because ang ato niya nga perception, although we might have the same information, parehas ang information ta, but ang aton perceptions o kung paghangop ta sa isa ka bagay o sa issue is different. Entirely different from yours and entirely different from yours and mine.
But of course, on your own, you look for proof. Hindi ba? Nagatuon ka.
Only you. Ikaw lang gid.
That is why.
Yeah, ikaw lang gid.
But what I'm trying to point out is you are a public official and what you are saying now is a public assertion. Inhambal mo sa publiko.
The what? Na?
Ang claim ni mo nga dami sila, may puppet master, may gastuhan na isang kwarta. I'm asking you a very simple thing. Kwarta ka gobyerno naging gamit, hindi?
You know what I'm saying is this. What I'm
Sir,
saying, no,
sir, so I'll go back to my question.
Yes.
Kwarta ka gobyerno, hindi.
No,
Kaya kung kwarta ka gobyerno, ni maupod ko buyayaw sini.
No, ang gambala ko yan po soon nga there are influence groups lobbying for these people to also push their own personal or vested interest. Amo malanada
Okay.
akong ginambal.
Let's stick with that general concept. Kaya hindi taman ma-breakdown ang specifics eh. And there cannot be any proof being offered as of this time. Okay.
Or rather, nobody will come out.
Kadtuon tang
Nobody will come out openly and say so.
And that is the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Pero kadtuan ko, ang isa ka pwede talantaon is kung produkto ni sila sa vote buying, qualified sila o kung hindi. Isa-isa unta. Judget yak, qualified siya o kung hindi.
Ari hambal ko, just very much like what the statement made by my good friend Teddy Makinan. Not only I said that they are dummy of the power that be, or several vested interest groups, not to push their own personal agenda, and that can later on be revealed, if I may, so on.
Sige, please.
But ang ginambal tayo so on nga they are incompetent and unqualified.
Incompetent and unqualified. Let's
Yes.
go over them one by one.
Yes. Or
Jud-
for example, why is that? Nga nagambal ako na. It was early as 2 months ago, during the public hearing so on, when some of the board of directors made some excuses nga they are new in the job. And so therefore, they are not aware. And secondly, so on, the mere fact so on nga they don't know the existing laws, rules, guidelines, policies, and in fact, even the pertinent laws. Long before they had themselves elected, they could have been prepared. And so therefore, making them incompetent for the job, because that is not an excuse, or the ignorance of the law is an excuse, not an excuse.
Buligay tanga tatlo.
Yes.
Let's digest the issue. Kaplo kasi gapati kung as a reporter, ang gusto ko ya sinsilyohon tang issue mo. Ang issue bilog mo.
Okay.
Diba?
Yes.
Sinsilyohon tang issue. Are. Una nga sinsilyo. Judget yak. Qualified, unqualified, competent, incompetent. Kag nga.
Maybe we can start by asking the qualifications of each and every one.
Sige, abe.
I don't know. That is why I was actually asking my good friend here, Teddy, why don't we look
Okay.
over the qualifications of each and every board of directors?
That is what we are doing right
Now,
now.
yes, we can ask people now. We can ask
No,
them.
I am asking you.
Well, we are about to ask that also
But
from
you
the
are the one,
board of directors.
Sir, bago ka lang nagambal nga incompetent and unqualified.
Precisely
sila mo.
of which 2 reasons, which I
Oh.
mentioned. Number 1, I said, they do not know the existing laws, rules, guidelines of the EIA and the DOE.
Si
And
Judith,
even
ano
pertinent
ni-
laws.
Okay.
Because in their actions so on, they have violated each and every guidelines, rules, and laws of the land.
Okay.
And secondly, so on, for you to say that you are new in the job does not excuse you for being incompetent. Does not excuse you for being qualified or competent in the job, because it is incumbent upon, long before they had themselves elected as board of directors, dapat they should know already what are the nitty-gritties or what are the complexities in running the power industry.
The following joined DNX in its second anniversary celebration. Former 3rd District Congressman Albi Benitez, Councilor Al Victor Espino, Councilor Wilson Gamboa Jr., Abang Lingkod Congressman Stephen Paduano, and Mr. Ricardo Canoctan.
Sir, kung sa pangisda, pasubong upod ta sa isa ka bangka nga tatlo mo. Ako na galing matimunil.
Oh, yes.
Ako mauyat sang timon. Dirihiran kong diskusyon nga ini. Are, si Ted. Let's go to individual qualification. Isa-isang tabi. Si One, you were talking about Mr. Velasco kaina eh. Ano ni siya?
Si Mr. Velasco, as I do remember, was once a political ally of Councilor Riniceto Novero, who hails from Barangay Alihis.
Ano ni siya ang obraya?
Sang una, as I remember, nagapanghatag na sa flyers.
Qualification na hindi.
Well, ang qualification naman magdagang ka sa board is very simple. All you need to do is to present your own electric bill. You need you know how to read and write.
Ang presidente gani sa Pilipinas, one natural born Filipino citizen,
Yes.
number 2, able to read and write.
Yes.
Dapat sobra pa da kung magdirektor ka kasi CENECO, sir.
Well, probably hindi man subragid sa presidente. Pero ang punto dira, that you know, magsulod ka da as a board of director of Yan Julius, you should know your job. Hindi pwede na nga mapungko, kalanda, mamati ka magpauli. You need to argue at times because there are certain factors that you have to reconsider. Nga ara ka da ang nagbutang sa imo. Let's say for the purposes of argument, nga wala ta na makalbuto. Ginplastar ka da sa pumuluyo to protect the interests of the consumers.
So, ang previous experience ni Mr. Velasco is based sa ambal nimo panagtag handbills.
Before,
Ni
isang
sino?
makita ko na siya,
Ni sino?
ni Councilor Novero.
Who is a member sa Grupo Progreso.
Yes.
Aliado sang alkalde.
Yes.
Okay. Sino pagid? Mr. Cuenca, ano ni siya?
Si Mr. Cuenca, I think he hails from ano gani barangay?
I don't know.
Nalipat ko. But anyway, si Mr. Cuenca, I guess he is from Bago City. No? So, the same. Qualified siya, kay may electric bill siya. He knows how to read and write. Kag, gindala yung kagalingon niya nga magpapili siya. So, ang isa lang na kabagay, Abyan Julius, nga dapat naton tamdon, nga ginbutang kamuda para sa protection sa consumers.
Wait, before I go further, sakata. Nonoy
So,
Paniki. Ano ni siya?
you know what
Yes,
is
sir.
this? We elect board of directors of CENECO to manage a multi-million company. Now, at the onset, each and every member of the board could have embraced already the complexity of running a power industry like CENECO.
And that is why I'm following your point, sir. I'm following your point.
Yes, because
Nga ginausisa ta isa-isa.
yes, because because it requires an insurmountable duty or responsibility wherein it carries the burden of the more than 300 member owner consumers.
Councilor,
300,000.
Councilor,
Or the 300,000.
that point is not lost on me.
Yes.
I understand that point. That's why nga ako gakatugid ko sa specifics. Kay gahambal ka karon nga bugat ang responsibilidad. Karon, if I follow your point, kung gapanagtag ka handbills, kaya mo na hindi.
No. It's not just about their credentials alone. You know what? We cannot just simply look at their credentials alone. Even the actions, the inactions, the omissions of this board of directors is already a manifestations of their incompetence.
Sir, Danay
Whether you are a lawyer.
You are framing the conversation eh.
Oo.
I am framing the conversation my way.
Okay.
Kay akong gapamangkot, di mo?
Oh.
Di ba? That's why nga ginapurso kong point ni Mr. Makainan. Qualified sila o kung hindi, anong basihan mo sa qualification? Credentials is number 1. Hindi ko gusto magpinalagpat na counselor mo. No, wait,
may
sir.
just be
Wait,
one
sir.
of the factor.
Wait, sir. As I have said, I am directing the conversation.
Ah, okay.
Diba? Ang ginapamangkot ko, ginaisa-isa na ganit namon eh. Si Mr. Velasco ga panagtaghan bills. Amo nang hambal ni Mr. Makainan. Based sa iya nabalaan. Sino Noy Paniki? Ano niyang qualification niya?
He is a treasurer of Barangay 12 or Barangay 10.
10.
No? 10. So, and then he is a PWD. So, kung imo tanawon, dapat tani, ang mga tao nga papungkuon sa board are those people who is knowledgeable sa field sang electric powers. No? So, parehas na bala, ang nagbunggo sa kay Velasco is Engineer Beda, who hails from Sumag. Where can you find an election nga si Velasco ganiway na diya parinti? Si Engineer Beda tumandok sa Sumag na pirdi. So kung if there is no politics sa likod sang election, kag merely voluntary lang gid ang nagduso sa pumuluyo, wala binayranay, wala baklanay o whatever, Bacolod nun could have elected people whom we deserve to be there.
Okay. Velasco ning ginaistorya Paniki tapos na, Cuenca tapos na. Sino pang ibang director?
Si Mr. Larida.
Si Father Ernie.
Okay. Si Mr. Larida is the spiritual advisor of Mayor Bing, as I do believe. Yes. Nobody can deny it. No, before the election, Father Larida, who hails from Estipania, now he is the parish priest of Central Macao. So, where can you find such a silly election? Nga very clear sang separation sang state kag church. Now here comes another problem. May pari ta sa sulod. Upod ta na sa Social Action Center before. Karon ginfailan sila sang administrative case sang isa ka consumer member sang CENECO. Come to think of it, kung madagdagan sila suspension, we are making history. A priest will be suspended. So paano, how will you be able to accept that if you are from Bacolod?
Pero, okay. Let's go sa qualification niya. Is a priest qualified to become a director or not?
Well, kung imo lang taon sa separation sang state kag church, hindi gid siya qualified da nga ara na da siya. Kay because of delicadeza purposes, pare ka. Dapat wala kaya naga-impun sa mga amo sini nga klase sang pagdihon kay ang imo nga main interest ang imo nga field is spiritual. Dapat sa imo mag-spread ka sang tinaga sang Ginoo. Hindi ka di mag-intra sa mga extension contract niya. Ano yung imo di?
All right, I'll go back to that. Yes, Councilor.
I am reminded by the saying that you cannot serve two masters at the same time.
True.
You're referring sa case ni Father Larida.
Yes. For you cannot serve God and then at the same time serve public or a private enterprise wherein big money is involved. And so therefore, by that alone, how can you actually justify to the people wherein you are engaged in church activities and yet at the same time engage in private enterprise endeavors involving millions and millions of pesos. In fact, even in the interview of Father Larida and Judith, I remember the president telling herself nga hindi ganit siya hindi ko nga ara siya da because they only receive a per dime of only 9,000 pesos per board meeting, which is done twice a month. But they failed to mention that along that position also comes several perks, privileges, benefits, and amenities as board member of CENECO. It's not just the per dime alone. In fact, even the lobby groups. And so therefore, one cannot
Then
discount
lobby
the
groups naman, sir. Let's talk about lobby groups. Saan ang
Yes.
buot mo silingon?
Well, amo tong ambal ko blason, you know what, this is, you know what, ang Basiwa issue gala is minuscule compared to Basiwa, to CENECO. Why? Because sige na si Linco, the 25-year contract of Basiwa is 6.8 billion contract, but this 20 megawatt contract alone of KEPCO Salcon is already an almost 6 to 7 billion contract in 10 years' time. So we are talking here of the more than 140 megawatts contract. So dako na iya nga soon nga nga interest groups ang nagalabi sinidi. You know, this is a power industry. Amo na kung naablang pagpasalang gani sa Imperial Law, dira ta nakita ablang attache case ang ginabitbit sa atong nga mga congressman. So you cannot deny the fact so nga comes along with these positions as board of directors are also amenities, perks, privileges
Sir, we can always
enjoyed.
Sir,
by
allow me.
them.
We can always presume and assume those things, no? Because, well, of course, presumptions are free. Assumptions are free. But let's go back to the question of qualification. May kulang pa isa, Jojetiak, nanong imuyamambal.
Everybody is qualified. Even a tricycle driver is qualified for as long that he is paying his own electric bill.
Even you.
Yes. So, kung ibaybayon ta kag patpaton, kag sinsilyuhon ta ang bilog nga issue, whether they are qualified or not, they are qualified. But the point is, are they competent?
Okay, sige.
Diba? Because lain man ang qualification, lain man
Ano yung pagkabalo mo nga qualification or ang sino niya si Jojetiak before she became president?
Well, I believe nga si Jujijap is a resident of Bacolod. Ari lang sa dilapit sa CENECO, star. Nga subong may balay to sa region. Okay? So, modesty aside abisa kay Father Larida, they are all qualified. I will stand to that. But, ang punto is, are they equipped of their job? That's another issue. Kiti karon ma-extend kay mo kontrata, wala ka nag-review gili nga there is legal action, legal question. So may abogado mada ang CENECO nga way nyo ging konsulta. Ti susubong na tiplang kamo. Sino karon ang basulon nyo? Ihingagaw nyo panawagan nga may dapat ang agma idayonon ta. Bangod, now do you realize the after effect of your decision nga pinsan nyo okay lang, hindi mag-react ang pumuluyo, hindi mag-react ang consumer members?
Danay kadto na ta kay may nakita ko nga punto mo. Ang punto mo nga ang agma ginahingagaw para ma-validate ang extension sa kontrata sa KEPCO.
We are under the perception nga ihingagaw nila ang agma for reason that that is one way or the other would correct the extension of contract by way of making amendments.
Bali amo ni ang ma-cure abe sa ginatawag ninyo
Yes.
na claim yung infirmities.
So
Sige,
let me
Councilor.
simplify your question. Ako na lang ma-simplify for the benefit of the viewing public.
No sir, you're supposed
Yeah.
to simplify your answer.
Yes, yes.
You're not supposed to
Oh,
simplify
yeah.
my question.
Okay? In 4 areas.
Go ahead.
Which might be the reason why Silingco that the government would rather sell out CENECO based on the following criteria to hold this board of directors incompetent. Number 1, in terms of efficiency or running CENECO efficiently or effectively. Isa na. Kadua, customer satisfaction. Are the customers happy of the services being rendered now by CENECO? Number 3, good governance. Good governance. Are we running CENECO the way we see it fit? Wherein we can lower down our systems loss? Now currently running at 70 million a month or a year? Or can we lower down our collectibles? Wherein Bacolod alone, we have a collectible from Bacolod City alone, the local government unit of no less than 300 million pesos. So, ano pa? Productivity. Do you think this brownouts, this recurring brownouts, basically, because of productivity, would redound to lesser brownouts or not? So by these 4 criteria alone, that will lead basically for big companies to come in. Do you think all of this board of directors that we have now will qualify to make them effective and efficient and render them competent. So sa apat pala ning butang siling kusoon, they have failed miserably in these 4 aspects alone.
Kaya
That is why we have to be worried
Kaya
about
napagod
their
pa sa
moves.
specific sa imo eh.
Yes, about these moves of the board of directors.
Alright.
Because basically, ang inactions nila, omissions nila, and their sins and faults basically will eventually lead to the privatization of CENECO come 2025. Or basi, ginbutangin na sila for that purpose. Yes, because amo man ang banwang nakita ta sa Basiwa.
Tanay,
Hindi ba?
allow me to
That is
simplify.
basically following
Councilor.
the footstep of Basiwa board of
Councilor,
directors.
let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are you leading to the point nga ginpasulod sila hungod parang ang CENECO will eventually be privatized?
Basically, their incompetence without necessarily saying categorically yes, hungod, but their incompetence so on will eventually lead to the privatization of CENECO. Very much like the same that we had
Sir,
with Basiwa.
Are you alleging nga hungod nila nga putuhon ng CENECO?
You know what, so on, the incompetent gani, whether they are wittingly or unwittingly doing it for CENECO, but the fact is they are incompetent based on these 4 criteria which I set forth earlier. Pero amo gid dinabalang estilo man sa ginubra sa Basiwa. Do you remember Basiwa? What the board of directors did? That siling nila at the early onset that Basiwa is dead, that we are losing by the billions of pesos in non-revenue waters. And so therefore there is no other recourse for us but to sell out Basiwa to a private company like Prime Water. That is the same style and the same
Direction.
that this board of directors are actually doing for CENECO. So we have to be wary. Though amonibla so no, why should we be wary? Because there is a sort of damakol dangling before us now. Because there is now a pending bill, House bill at the House of Congress, wherein CENECO will be offered to a private company which is Gamboa Hermanos
Tido
Farm Workers Multipurpose Cooperative.
Si Junjun Mujica nagambal na di eh.
Yes.
Galing tito hindi man kumuk na ni Junjun. Gapasugot ka sa iya pananawan nga mo nang
I don't care. I don't know him. I don't know him. I haven't met the guy. So on, with all no honesty, with due respect,
Balikan
why
tayo
ko
na
nakikilala sila? I don't even consider the group a valid group. I in fact, even time and again, considered them as a bogus consumers.
Balikan ta ka sir. Yes, Ted.
We do not consider CENECO as a cooperative. For 2 reasons alone. That's a very clear manifestation. You try to ask CENECO employees, the rank and file, where are they paying are they paying SSS or GSIS? Because if they will answer you SSS, they are not a government-owned thing. Second, ang board of directors, kung hindi na siya private, kag cooperative na siya, dapat board of trustees na siya. Right? Kung cooperative na siya, dapat member na sa sang CDA, kag hindi siya under sa NIA.
Until now, hindi pa siya member.
Yes, that's why we are pushing nga dapat ang CENECO should be under CDA. Ugaling subong, sa nakita ko, ang aton nga union dira sa sulod, no? Ang union sa sulod, are being make use by the top level management nga hindi magalin sa NIA kay mayo ang perks and privileges sa NIA. So, as rank and file and as an employee, pabor na sa imo, hindi pabor sa consumer. For one reason. Kung ang CENECO maging member sa CDA, for sure, i-enjoy sang kabilugan nga wala ta taxes. Wala ta may ginabayaran nga taxes kung cooperative kita. So, inang mga tao sa likod subong nga nagapos ang agma before membro na sa sang Social Action Center. Ina sila nga mga tao, may mga prinsipyo na nagaupod na sa una sa amon nga dalan, marcha, magbatyag saka ang krudo, ara na sa supad namon, pagbatyag sang magpasaka ang management sang CENECO sang rate ara man sa sunga dalan. Pero look at them now. Look at them. We have now records kung tagpila-pila ang ginasweldo sang CENECO sa aton rank and file. Pinakanubo is 35,000 plus that reaches to 50,000 each employees. Managerial nagalabot sa 80 to 100,000. Pero if you are going to look at them, ano ang nahimo na nila sa sulod sa opisina sang CENECO para sa aton bilang member consumer? So kumbaga ang CENECO half-cook na siya nga cooperative, half-cook na siya nga private. The moment magsala lang kita sang aton nga pagsuporta dira sa sulod sa ila, kung anong natabo sa Basiwa, amo ginamatabo sa CENECO. Amo ginamatabo sa CENECO.
So you're saying ang direction is privatization?
Yes. There's no chance nga hindi siya mag-privatize. One good example is Iloilo. Look at Iloilo because na-privatize sila. Subong, ang ilang nga kuryente is 250. Isa lang direksyon mo, isa lang ka desisyon.
Are you saying it's better to privatize?
No,
Ano man?
it's not. Because kung sa 2025, malaps na ang franchise ng CENECO, better for us nga maging cooperative kita. Kay just in case nga may magsulod nga company nga mag-take over sa CENECO, kag ang tanan, kag ang member consumer will become now a member of a cooperative, irregardless mag-take over man niya ang private, to manage CENECO, ang tanan nga member consumer now deserve to have a dividends every year. Every year. Ara ng tadaya sa gyapon sa sulod as a cooperative.
Okay.
Pero kung sa sitwasyon nga do himuon nila Basiwa, hindi na ta maging membro.
Alright, gentlemen, let's wind up our discussion.
We have to calibrate all our movements between now and especially only within the period of now and September 28. Na kung sa diin though piliton gid nila nga madayon ining
Agma.
for several reasons. No, for all we know, so on, we are just mere pawns of all this, scenario that the big players or the power that they are creating. Damo na ko nga ang in every actions or inactions that I do, ginanilisar ko gid kung the effects. Because, yes, that is correct. Whether we like it or not, we are geared towards that directions. And our leaders actually are geared towards that directions. Nga i-privatize na nila ang aton nga distribution utility. Because of that hanging sword of Damocles, siya sining House Bill now pending before the House of Congress. Now, so on, ang tindog yas ang grupo, sining Consumers Forum, we created a block. Na first, we are against the holding of this AGMA because we doubt, there is big doubt on the holding of this AGMA, especially in this pandemic. Ikaduwa, so on, gapati kami nga dapat ang CENECO should be registered in the Cooperative Development Authority, nga kung sa diin, each and every member consumers are real owners of CENECO. Muna siling ko lang, nga this is a private enterprise, de facto cooperative. So the only way nga siling ko nga makabig na to, nga we are owners, is when we apply for a CDA. In fact, it is mandatory upon all cooperatives to apply for the CDA. I don't know, and I know the reason why, ang gina-hold back in this ang board o sa management for us to be registered with the CDA. But banwa kagsuon amuning mambal ko. Once we become private, ang nakita ko din nga aside nga it becomes already profit oriented and rather than service oriented. And we will not be real owners of this cooperative, which kita man mismo nagpundar pag nag-3R from the very start. Ikatatlo, naluoy ako soon sa mga unreachable areas. Nga hindi bala naton ma-electrify simply because nga it will not redound to the benefit of this private entity. So ang tulokon gila niya permiya is negosyo. So there will definitely be some areas, rural areas for that matter, who will not be electrified simply because nga it is already private. And kung ang return of investment nila, hindi makuha nila within the shortest period of time, mas gustuhon nila nga hindi na lang ito nila pagpalambuto ng kuryente sa sinaang lugar. And I empathize with these areas nga why sila baladangpon, among others. And so therefore, what are the three stand before I end? What are the three stand positions that this CENECO Consumers Forum have agreed upon in the last meeting? One, that we need a refund of the illegal actions made by our board of directors by charging us more than the amount with a price differential of no less than 2 pesos. And secondly, we go against the holding of AGMA now until such time that we will be very, very clear on all of us on what will be the agenda. Kay base sa statement ni Attorney Pundan, nga sila niya, they will hold an AGMA because they need to inform, to update, and to apprise the consumer members of what is happening in CENECO. Okay, if that is the only thing ang purpose nyo for holding the AGMA, you can actually do that. And thirdly, so on, we are pushing for the registration of CENECO to the Cooperative Development Authority Council. So these are the three main points nga we are actually are pushing, at least somehow for the next 30 or 40 days before the holding of the September 28 Annual General Membership Assembly.
On that note, gentlemen, thank you so much sa inyong atiyempo and hope to have you again soon.
The following joined DNX in its second anniversary celebration. Chong Tapsilogan and Sizzlers, BreadBite Bakeshop, Ting Ting's Native Food, ISK Tech, Country Homes and Mr. Vladi Gonzalez, Bacolod Real Estate Development Corporation, and IPM Construction and Development Corporation.